After years of demanding the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, Republicans are now claiming those files are fake. Also, Donald Trump got heckled by protesters at a restaurant in D.C. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. After sending federal troops into Washington, D.C., Trump made a bunch of false claims about how much safer he'd made the city, but he seemed especially fixated on restaurants.
Washington, D.C. is a very safe city right now. People are going out to dinner, restaurants are opening. Everyone's starting to come here. The restaurants now you can't get in. Many of them closed because they couldn't open with crime.
I have friends that say they're going out to dinner. Did you see what's happening with the restaurants? They're bursting.
Yes,
they're all closing and going bankrupt.
Friends of mine that haven't gone to a restaurant in 4 years, one of them went out 5 times in the last 2 weeks. People that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time.
Right now, people are walking out. They're going out right now to restaurants all over D.C.
People are telling me they're going out to dinner now. I have a lot of friends that are going out to dinner all the time now. Restaurants are starting to open again. A lot of them closed because, nobody wanted to go into a restaurant. Nobody wanted to get to a restaurant or even sit in the restaurant. People are excited again. They're going out to restaurants again. Restaurants are open. They're bustling.
Man, he's such a blue-blooded elitist, he can't even imagine a second thing people would do after going out to a restaurant. I mean, I guess it would be weirder if he did. People can't even go out to play laser tag anymore without... Friends of mine who haven't played laser tag for 4 years are playing so much laser tag now. And by the way, in one of those clips, Trump made things very weird by giving us a peek into Fox host Sean Hannity's relationship with one of the hosts who was interviewing Trump, Ainsley Earhardt.
There's a guy named Sean Hannity. He might take a very lovely young lady that he knows very well to dinner in Washington, and they don't have to. And she's sitting right next to you, by the way.
That's right.
But
Mr. President,
I don't want to get him in trouble, so I better explain exactly. We don't want any secrets here.
Well, I think they maybe wanted secrets here, or else they would have spilled the beans. I don't want to get him in any trouble, so let me explain in detail what the secret is. Hannity and Earhart are reportedly engaged, but I don't know why that's even on Trump's radar. He's supposed to be the president of the United States, not a gossipy Long Island aunt. A little birdie told me Sean and Ainsley are dating. And by little birdie, I mean the CIA. They give me a dossier every morning, tells me who's smooching who. Trump was so proud of supposedly saving D.C.'s restaurants that he wanted to prove it by going to one himself. Unfortunately, he forgot to bring the National Guard into the restaurant with him.
President Trump met with protesters while dining out in D.C. for the first time at an establishment he does not own. The president, vice president, and several cabinet members had dinner just blocks away from the White House at Joe's Seafood.
I mean, certainly the most memorable part of that clip is Trump staring directly into the camera. Whenever he's in one of these awkward situations, his go-to facial expression is the Urkel. He's like a thief stealing a package off your front porch who just realized he's being recorded on a Ring camera. I'm sure Trump wasn't thrilled to have his seafood dinner ruined, especially considering when he sees food, he eats it. Wednesday's dad joke. But also, Trump shouldn't be so surprised. Let's not forget, he's still very unpopular.
The president's poll numbers are lagging on jobs, as you might imagine. Then again, they're lagging on a lot and have been for a while.
Look at the aggregate polls and look how long Donald Trump's net approval rating has been negative. It has been every day since March 12th in the average of polls. We're talking about 181 days in a row in which Donald Trump has been underwater. There is no good data for Donald Trump when looking at the aggregate and looking overall. He has been negative for a very long period of time. These are all the key issues. Donald Trump is underwater on all of them. These have been Donald Trump's strongest issues, crime and immigration. He's underwater on crime at -2, immigration at -3.
The only good thing about being underwater for Trump, that's where the seafood is. Dad joke callback. But seriously, he's underwater on crime. I thought he saved the restaurants in Washington, D.C. like he promised. I remember when I went into that polling booth in November, the top 3 issues on the minds of voters were jobs, inflation, and can Donald Trump's imaginary friend go to a steakhouse 5 times in 2 weeks? By the way, I know how frustrating and futile it feels to look at polls that say Trump is unpopular, while at the same time it feels like he controls everything and the world's most powerful people are groveling to him and kissing his ass. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's like living in a world where everyone on the movie Cats, but it's also somehow the highest grossing film of all time. And then they make a sequel called Cats 2, Even More Butthole. Quick explainer if you don't get the joke. It's a reference to the fact that when the Cats movie came out in 2019, a rumor surfaced that producers had to blur out the cat's buttholes, which doesn't make sense to me because if you've ever had a cat, you know you're looking at its butthole way more often than you're looking at its face. Nonetheless, the rumor was later confirmed when a visual effects editor told the Daily Beast, we went to call our supervisor and we're like, there's a asshole in there. There's buttholes. It wasn't prominent, but you saw it and you were just like, what the hell is that? There's a butthole in there. There was also a trending hashtag that said, release the butthole cut. And look, I won't be surprised if you don't remember any of this, but that's because you're normal people. But to our comedy writers, that whole story was basically, well, catnip. But the butthole cut never came out, and I think I know why. It's the same reason the Epstein files haven't come out. That's right, Donald Trump is in the butthole cut. Now, sure, Trump's gonna call it a hoax and say it's fake, but you tell me, if Trump's not secretly a cat, then why does he drink water? By lowering his head and lapping it up. And that was a long, some might say unnecessary, but incredibly rewarding tangent about the 2019 film Cats. And you know what? If the news was better in 2025, we wouldn't have to do like that. Anyway, the point is Trump's very unpopular. The sad news for Democrats is they're even more unpopular. The only national Democrat who has a positive approval rating is Bernie Sanders. The rest of them are just helplessly wandering around like characters from The Sims who get trapped in a room without a door. And a big reason Trump is unpopular, aside from, all the other reasons, is the Epstein files, which he and his MAGA buddies promised to release.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
We have information, names, that will come out.
Everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
And where are the cat's buttholes, and why can't we look at them? We know you made them. Let us look at them. He's right, though. Who are the powerful, famous people on those tapes and in those files, and specifically those books? Epstein had all kinds of books, black books, birthday books. Who was in those books? We need answers.
We begin with the breaking news of the infamous Jeffrey Epstein birthday book, the one with a letter bearing President Trump's name at the crude drawing. Now, this has now been made public, released by the Epstein estate to the House Oversight Committee. Let's show you it, because it's now on the screen with the crude location of the signature.
Oh, never mind. We don't need answers. Just the cat buttholes. For years, the conspiracy theorists insisted there was a cover-up to hide the names of powerful elites with ties to Jeffrey Epstein, and it turns out they were right, just not in the way they wanted it to be. In their fever swamp brains, they thought it was only going to hurt their political enemies, but now it's hurting their hero, Donald Trump, which is why they're doing all sorts of mental gymnastics to claim it couldn't possibly be Trump's signature in that book.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak.
He's never drawn such a picture. He's never thought of drawing such a picture.
The stupid drawing, that your dad allegedly gave to Epstein.
I can tell you my father does not sketch out cartoon drawings.
The president did not write this letter. He did not sign this letter.
Why are you just taking the president at his word that he didn't write this letter?
Because I believe the president.
From what I see, it's not a signature. I've seen Donald Trump sign a million things.
I've never known Trump to be much of an artist either, so I kind of draw that into question.
I think there's a history of him drawing
stuff. The thing is, it's been there for 4 years, and now it's just come out. I just don't buy it.
So you think really someone might have just forged this somehow and sent this to the
somehow, it's so easy to do. They bring something like this out now. Why wouldn't they bring it out during the campaign?
It's very easy to forge Donald Trump's signature. All you have to do is draw a straight line while riding a roller coaster, or you could hook yourself up to a polygraph and lie, or you could strap yourself to an EKG and have a heart attack. Everyone knows that signature. It's the most famous signature in the world. You see it and you think to yourself, oh, look, it's President. Ah! Also, this didn't come from Democrats. This came directly from Epstein's estate. That's why it didn't come out during the campaign. You think if Democrats were in possession of a birthday card from Donald Trump to the world's most notorious sex trafficker, they would have just sat on it until after they lost? And yes, as I say it out loud, it does sound like up the Democrats would make. Well, Trump has won all 7 battleground states in both houses of Congress, but the game is not over yet, my friends. Let's wait 10 months and release the letter. Also, you can't have it both ways. You can't spend years insisting that the names of powerful elites are all implicated in the Epstein files, and it's all real except for anything with Donald Trump's name on it, which is fake. If anything, this should bring us all together. Republicans and Democrats should be able to come together and say,
we don't want any secrets here.
This has been A Closer Look.